everyone, and welcome to today's Drama Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. So I already filmed this once and saw that I had something on my face, and I was like, oh no, I have dirt on my face. So I went like that. Turns out it was a scab, and now I'm bleeding. So let's get through this while I'm gushing blood out of my face. The winners for last week's Hero of the Week was Jason and Sunny by a landslide, with the honorable mention for Curtis and Liz. And now let's get right to today's recap. Okay, that's a little better. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that. Okay, so at the hospital, Finn and Liz are talking about patients being diverted to Mercy. Apparently, the doctors don't even want them to come to the hospital because they're so afraid they're gonna die from being murdered and then get, sued for malpractice. And, Dr. Finn still thinks Franco has something to do with it, and even though he was exonerated. So Elizabeth tells him that Franco has an alibi, and that alibi is her. So Sam is admitted, and Franco is in her room, so that should definitely go over well. And Franco asks Sam to keep an eye on Jake because Jason has a blind spot when it comes to him, and he knows so much more about Jason's kid than he does. And Sam asks if Liz put him up to this, and Elizabeth comes in, and I'm like, oh, this is going to go over well. It actually went over a lot well than I thought it would, to be quite honest with you. So Sam wants him banned from her room, understandably, and Elizabeth is like, yeah, I can understand that. I'll get to that. And Sam tells her that Nicholas died like the Nicholas that they used to know. A hero. Well, he died like a hero. He died honorably, saving someone's life. So, and that does comfort Liz, and she thanks her for telling her that. Finn comes in, and he's her doctor, and she's a bit shocked. Why? Because he looks just like Silas, and this is the first time these characters are meeting. OMG, I've been waiting for this. She brings up how he looks just like him, but he's heard that before. But she goes into her relationship with Silas, and he's like, look, if you want another doctor. And she's like, no, it's okay, I just want to let you know. So she gives him her travel history. Maybe she's picked up an illness from Greece or the area because there's been some stuff going on, and she says Cassadine Island. That seems to get his attention. So Franco gives Elizabeth the portrait. He says he needs to go in a different direction, and she's like, I thought you already had. So Franco's talking to the picture of the dog he gave up that's on his phone, and he's telling the dog, he's acknowledging he pushes people away. And he only wants to help people now. But keep in context, he's talking to a picture of a dog on his phone. And Franco's pitying himself and how Liz should have given him a second chance. But he's the one who let her go. So, he didn't even give her a chance to talk. Because if he had, he wouldn't be pitying himself right now. And he'd be dating Elizabeth. At Perks Coffee, Jax is talking to Bobby, and he wants her on his side, but she sees both sides of it. She understands the whole, JOCELYN'S medical history thing, but she also understands the whole privacy thing. So she says she'll consider talking to Carly. And Bobby also invites him to her birthday party that's being held at Sunny's house. Well, Sunny and Carly's house. So that should go over well. And Jason walks up the stairs, and Bobby invites him too. It's just a whole big, shebang. So Jason and Jax, friendly as ever. And Jason says he can't go because Jake's coming over, and he's going to be spending time with him. Just bring Jake to the party. I'm sure he'd love it. There'd be cake there. Friends. Jax infers that he'll give Carly plenty to focus on at the party. So Jake comes over, escorted from, with his babysitter, and he brings up Franco and how Franco said everything would be okay, so he wasn't scared. And Franco. And Jason's like, wow, he talks to you a lot at art therapy. And Jake's like, no, all the other times too. And Jason's like slowly getting the information out, and and he's like, when he comes over to see Mom. And I'm like, oh, Jake. So Elizabeth is there, and Jason gently brings up Franco after sending Jake off to buy a cookie. And she tells him, yeah, they went out on a date. What you gonna do about it? Well, not just like that. That's like how I would say it if I were her. So he's giving her a hard time, and Jason's like, you know how I feel about him. And she's like, amazingly, I don't take your feelings into consideration when I date people. And I agree with her with that. I know Jake's involved, so it gets it a little muddier, but when it comes to her relationships, he really he doesn't control her, So I agree with her there. So they start to escalate, they realize it, and they're like, you know what, we'll talk about this later. And Jason's like, I'll tell you everything he's done. Stuff that Elizabeth already knows, but, you know, just to, I don't even know what the purpose of that is. And she's like, look, before you freak out, we're not even going on another date, so just stop. At Kiki's, Morgan and Kiki take their STI meds together, you know, bonding, relationship stuff. And Ava's at the door. She sees Morgan's there and immediately is put off. So Morgan's gonna leave for the party. Kiki's gonna stay, and she just jumps right in and she's like, I know everything. So Kiki's like, I know you told Morgan to break up with me. And Ava's like, what? That is a lie. Did Sonny tell you that? Because Sonny, he just makes up these lies. And Kiki's like, no, Morgan did. And Ava's like, oh, the guy who just left the mental hospital? And Kiki's like, really? So she's such a liar. And that's what I can't stand about Ava. If you're going to do something, then own it when you're called out on it. But she doesn't. She just lies and tries to shift responsibility onto people she doesn't like. So she says that Morgan has apologized for everything, and Ava blames Morgan for Kiki being shot. And Kiki said, look, Morgan had a mental breakdown. What's your excuse? And Ava's like, what do you mean? And Kiki's like, you were the one involved with the guns in Paul Hornsby. Like, you were there too. And I was like, see, I love this Kiki. Why? Like, she needs to be here more often. So she doesn't blame her or Morgan, and Ava needs to stop trying to get her to blame Morgan, because she's either going to blame both of them or blame none of them. So she says that, Ava says that Morgan's no good, and he knows it, but he won't leave. It has to be Kiki that leaves him. And I was like, yeah, that's where we agree. I agree with Ava on something. Hell has frozen over. So Ava says that Morgan needs to take care of himself, and that people who leave treatment aren't supposed to be in relationships for a while. And Kiki's like, that's just for drug addicts and alcoholics. And Ava's like, really? Like that? You're gonna, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm agreeing with Ava, begrudgingly though. I'm not happy about it. So Ava's like, you're a crutch and a caretaker. And at this point, I have to speak for my mom. It's caregiver. A caretaker works at a cemetery and stuff. A caregiver is someone who cares for living people. So that's my mom. It's like her biggest pet peeve. So she says that she's not helping him, she's enabling him. And Kiki brings up both of Ava's affairs with him as different people. So Ava then sees the STI medication, and I'm like, oh, this is about to get super awkward. So, like, I see both sides of it for Kiki. On one side, I see the whole staying in the relationship to spite her and just make her crazy. Ava crazy. But on the other hand, there's the healthy grown-up side of, you know, not being in a toxic relationship. But honestly, the spite will always edge it out just a little bit, personally. So she demands to know if Morgan gave her an STI and if he cheated on her, because, you know, he has a history of cheating, and as the person he cheated with, you probably shouldn't bring that up. It's awkward. And Ava asks about the follow-up HIV or the test, and, you know, Kiki had forgotten, and now Ava's just freaking out at her more. And at Sonny's place, we're almost there. JOCELYN is stressed because Carly and Jax are fighting, and she tells Michael her feelings about the whole kidney transplant thing, and she thinks she's so healthy. And I was like, you say that enough and you're gonna not be healthy in like 0.2 seconds. So Carly leaves a message for Jax, and Sonny comes in and she sees that she's stressed. So Carly fills him in. Sonny's furious about this whole thing, and Carly says she's backed off and Sonny wants to take up the search so Jax won't know. And of course Jax comes in with Bobby. So Morgan comes in and doesn't even acknowledge Jax. He just like literally walks right past him. So Michael offers Morgan a drink, and Morgan's like, oh, I can't have alcohol in the meds. And Michael's like, yeah, I meant soda. Like, I know you can't drink on your meds. And Morgan's like, how did you know about the medication? And did you talk to Kiki or Dylan? And he's like, what? Like, I know about your bipolar medication. And Morgan's like, oh yeah, that. And Michael's like, what other medication? Morgan's like, nothing, no medication, And, you know, just kind of walks away from the situation. So Carly assures Jax that she's called off the search once and for all. She talked to Nina about it, and someone's at the door. Michael answers it, and it's a woman there for Carly. And I'm like, oh no, her name's Nellie, by the way. So he thinks she's there for the nanny interview, and they're gonna do the toast. You just stay in the living room, and as soon as she gets a break, I'll bring her out for you. And now end scene. Morgan and Jocelyn are taking Bobby to the movies, and Carly's not too happy because it's the party. Like, why are you taking the party person away from the party so early? She's worked very hard to decorate this, for 5 minutes of party? You know, I'm mad too, Morgan. That is like the worst thing you've done in the whole time you've been on the show. So Kiki checks over her results because there's a new HIV test that is actually accurate after 2 weeks instead of the 3 months, and she's HIV negative, and Ava gives her one more lecture. Monica calls Franco. She's suspending him from the hospital even though he's been exonerated, and he wants his puppy back. Liz tells Jason he needs to focus on his life instead of meddling in hers, and by the way, your wife is in the hospital. That's very nice. And the woman at Carly and Sunny's house is here about the article, and she says she thinks she's an NBC Olympic thing popped up. She says she thinks she's Jocelyn's kidney donor. And oh yeah, one more thing. Sam got her results back. Dr. Finn ran some initial tests, and the results are in. Sam is pregnant! Ah! On one hand, I'm really, really, really happy because Sam's pregnant. I'm really, really happy. On the other hand, we almost made it through 2016 without a pregnancy story. But on the third hand, I ain't even mad about it because Jason and Sam are together. They're not having any problems. Doesn't look like there'll be any. They're going like there's no third parties trying to meddle. There's no whose baby is this. Like, it actually looks like it might be a straightforward story, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy right now. Another Olympic notification. I'm just so happy right now. Are you happy? Because I'm happy. Oh my goodness. Okay, that is it for today's General Hospital recap. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow for more General Hospital. Bye!